The last thing we're going to do with these transformations is just do compound transformations, which is nothing new. It is basically just doing two or more transformations like back to back. So we might rotate something and then translate, or we'll reflect something and then dilate it. It is very important that when we are doing compound transformations, that we are keeping track of which one is which. So this very first example that I want to do first kind of highlights the importance of putting those little extra apostrophe looking mark things when we're labeling these. And I know I mentioned them last week, but it is very important that we pay attention. So over here to the right, there's a graph and there's three triangles there, and they want us to describe the compound transformation that's happening. Well, the first thing we need to notice is which triangle is the original, which one is the first transformation, and which one's the second one. And again, the way we tell that is by these little tally marks here, okay? So I can tell that the triangle without the tally marks, all the way to the left, just the A, B, and C, is my original triangle. The one with just one tally mark is our first transformation, and then the one with the two tally marks is the second. So again, it's really important to not only label our picture when we're drawing it, but when we're looking at a picture that's given to us, that we pay attention to those marks. Okay, so now that we know kind of what order this goes in, it looks like the first image was kind of slid kind of over and down, so that's a translation. And then it looks like it was flipped over that y-axis in the middle. So that would be, if we just, and the descriptions over here to the left aren't as specific, but that was a translation. So it scooted over, followed by a reflection. So it slid it over and down, and then it flipped it over the y-axis. But again, it's really important that we pay attention to those marks. Okay, let's go up to the top here. Okay, again, another really important reason why we want to pay attention to those marks, because when, again, these ones are given to us, we don't have to draw it, but they want us to describe. So for this first one over here on the left, again, really important that we look for those marks. So this first triangle is the one kind of down to the left. This is after our first transformation, and then this one's after our second transformation. And again, I can tell that by the marks. Okay, so the original one flipped over the x-axis, kind of flipped upwards, and then it slid over and then up. Okay, actually right 6, and I even have that specifically right 6 and up 2. Okay, for the second one, again, paying attention to my marks, this one's our original. This one's after our first transformation, and then this one's after our second one. Now this one is tricky. So the first transformation is a rotation. Okay, that one's kind of clear. The second transformation is actually a reflection, and it's very important. Not only do we look at the marks, but we look at where the letters are, because that, if you weren't paying attention, it might look like a translation down, but that one actually is a reflection. Okay, but again, whole main idea when we're looking at or doing these compound transformations is paying attention to those marks. Okay. Last one, I'm going to kind of work this one out together here for you. So we want to take that triangle, and again, we're going to draw it this time. We want to rotate that triangle 90 degrees counterclockwise. Okay, using our rule for rotation counterclockwise, 90 degrees counterclockwise. And I'm just going to write the rule up here. This takes x, y, and it changes them around or flips them around, and the new x becomes negative. So it flips some spaces, so x becomes y becomes x, and the new first number becomes negative. So what I'm going to do, so A, let me label these real quick. This is at negative 5, 5. B is at negative 5, 1, and C is at negative 2, 1. okay? So when we switch them, so for A, if I flip them around, the 5 goes first, the -5 goes second, and then the new first number becomes negative. B, again, switching them, so 1, -5, and again, the new first number becomes negative, and then C, flip them, new number, first number becomes negative. Okay, now, let's draw that real quick. Actually, I'm going to change my color here. There we go. Oh my goodness. There we go. And then I'm going to draw this new triangle. So -5 would be down here. So that's A. And notice I'm putting my little mark. B is at -1, -5. That's right. And C is at -1, -2. And let's connect those dots. There we go. Okay. Last thing they want us to do is they wanted us to take those new points and move it 6 units to the right. So we're going to take x plus 6. So every x number, we're going to add 6 to it. And 3 units up, so y plus 3. All right, so for A, we're adding 6. So -5 plus 6 becomes 1. -5 plus 3 becomes -2. Okay. New B, adding 6, and then adding 3. And then C, again, adding 6 would be 5, and adding 3 would be 1. Okay. So we got 1, -2. So there's my second A. Again, notice I'm putting 2 marks there. 5, -2. So there's new B. And C over 5, up 1. So there's new C. There we go.